Shall I start, ma'am?
Just a minute. I'm happy to welcome Mr. Manikandan to give his presentation. Manikandan has received BE in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, India, and ME VLSI Design from Anna University Regional Campus, Coimbatore, India. So he is currently working as a researcher and pursuing his doctoral degree in School of Computing at Shastra Deemed University, Tanjavur, India. He has 11 plus years of industry experience, academic and research experience. He has taped out a chip with the Google sponsorship. His research interest includes VLSI architectures, system on chip design, FPGA-based system design, and domain-specific architectures. He is a member of RISC-V, OpenPOWER, and OS FPGA. Over to you, Manikandan. You can give your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Today, I'm going to explore the different opportunities, whatever, especially for chip making. So, our government of India started the initiative of Special Manpower Development Programming in 1998. So, they have released different manpower development programming, something like SMDP 1, 2, and SMC C2S So that and all have been carried out by the government, and those things and all targeted the governmental institutions. And now they have even a new scheme that is called as C2S program. This is about chips to startup, and in this particular program, the government of India encourages non-governmental organizations and institutions also to take part in this particular VLSI manpower development. And these are the C2S programming objectives. This to create the industry-ready manpower and to create the industrial collaboration with academia, and to create ASIC, SOC, and IP cores. So that database has to be needed for any country to develop in the electronics era. And at last, they are also encouraging the startup also. So here, this really appreciable initiative made by the government. So they have kept various factors into the consideration, and they are highly encouraging the electronics and electronics manpower to be developed. So previously, before 20 years, they have concentrated on the software, right? The same way, government also now focused on the semiconductors. So it is a right time to jump into the semiconductor industry. So the key highlights are about the C2S programs it is about to grant 100 plus institutions. It includes governmental and non-governmental organizations and R&D firms. And the target is to generate 85,000 manpower within 5 years, and to create a lot of ASICs and FPGA-based designs, and to create the national repository which has a lot of IP cores, reusable IP cores, so that anybody can able to easily access to it. And the one of the important good thing for academia is that they are planned to give the remote access to the EDA tools, especially Synapses kind of stuff, which is really costly to occur by normal institutions. And they have got the India Chip Center. They are encouraging the academia and startups to produce the chip by their own through SCL Chandigarh, or whichever foundry we found useful for the chip. So for that also they are giving the funding, and also they are facilitating the smart lab, VLSI lab facilities, and they are encouraging the startups. These are the various highlights of this particular C2S program. And let me explore what are the eligibility of the applicants under this C2S. So here, the academic institutions either can be a governmental or non-governmental institution. So even private colleges can also apply for this one. And here, academia institution and R&D organizations are at par. They will be considering both as similar entity, and these two organizations, either academia or R&D, can collaborate with either MSMEs or the startup. So in that way, they can proceed to acquire the C2S program, or otherwise, academia alone can acquire this particular C2S under different conditions. I'll slowly explore what are the different categories which is present. And totally three categories are there in C2S. The category one, so it is to establish the collaboration between the industry and the academia. So here initially they will be sanctioning the project for 3 years, and with that they can claim up to 5 crores. So here the chip tapeout can be done in MPW. So MPW stands for multi-project wafer. So in that mode, they can submit their design and get it fabricated. And here the thing is that the outcome, they have to produce the outcome with TRL level 7 and above. So TRL level 7 and above, in the sense, minimum they have to create the prototype that can be testable. So that is what the TRL 7. So testable in the sense that prototype can be deployed in a real applications. So either they can target the system or SoC design, ASIC or IP cores. And here the criteria is that the industry which is about to collaborate, they have to spend 10% minimum, 10% contribution towards that particular project. So this is about category one. And in category two, and it is only with the academic, we can get the support, but industry won't directly involve in this, but obviously the industry will be the end user here. So here this is consortium mode in the sense. So more than one college has to collaborate together, and they have to submit the proposal for it. So in that, maximum size of the particular consortium is 5, and government is permitted to plan to give grant for 40 institutions in this particular scheme. So 40 institutions in the sense it is 40 proposals. This can be 5 years project, and at max we can claim 96 lakh uh, under this particular scheme. And here also they are supporting the fabrication. So all the process and all target to the chip tapeout. So they have to fabricate the IC. So that is what the aim of all the three categories. And here the participating institute can be the academia or R&D, but they should not be the startup or any company. And they should get the letter of interest from the end user organization. End user organization either be the R&D firm or another R&D firm or a company, right, who were interested in that particular development, chip development. And here the expected outcome is the target readiness level up to TRL 7. So basic prototype has to be produced in this particular scheme. And regarding category 3, this is not for private institutions. This is mainly for governmental institutions. So there, they'll be supporting up to 50 government institutions, mostly of new IITs and NITs. And target duration is for 5 years, and the amount sanctioned is 86 lakh. So here they are be targeting up to the POC level, so TRL level 4. So it can be the ASIC or FPGA based designs. So these are the various category which is available with Chip2 startup. And here there are opportunities for both faculties, industry, as well as a student, because here government is encouraging about, I'm talking about all the three categories. So in these particular categories, government is allowing the faculties to recruit the researchers, there is PhD scholars, research scientists, or interns. Internship can also be given. So these are the various opportunities government is looking for from the academia side. From the industry side, so they will be doing the knowledge transfer to the academia and get that works done from the academia, and they will be marketing their products. So this is how this particular techniques works, and the targeted manpower generation is that 85,000. So the manpower in the sense, obviously it is the students. So they will be getting benefited under these schemes. And these are the key applications areas. And after exploring this, I'll tell you where this open power can play a vital role. And also here I'll be giving a few research ideas that you can take up for this kind of proposals for the to start the momentum in the electronics area. So semiconductors area. See here, these are the application areas identified by the government as of now, but it is not limited to these applications. You can come with your own ideas which will be useful for the country. And here, the energy, environment, healthcare, agriculture, safety, security, strategic sector, and intelligent transport system emerging, and disaster management. So these are the identified key applications areas. Here I can tell you, since open power uh, is open in nature, so we can target, either we can get into emerging technology, and we can also touch upon the healthcare and ITS, intelligent transport system. So in these areas we can able to touch upon. So this will be the app area for us. And here the safety and the security, here this can be separately taken as a one more project, because in open sources, if we are adding the security for the open sources, then that will be really appreciated, right? So in that perspective also we can able to propose the. And here these are some of the third topics which have been identified by myself, and we are giving these topics to the faculties and researchers, those who want to really engage in this particular field, either through this C2S or direct collaboration, is the direct collaboration. We briefly explained about the identified thirst topics, which is related to open power. So here we have already got the open power consortium. We have got a uh, tiny processor called microwatt. So this processor is open to all, and anybody can take and make use of it. And here, if you are able to add the other features like the interfacing and communication support, which will be really useful to integrate other IP cores along with these microwatts, right? Then that will be really great, and that will be useful for creating the FPGA based systems. So that is one of the open area. And another one is that we can also target about multi-core microwatt. Here, microwatt indicates the processor with OpenPOWER ISM, developed based on OpenPOWER ISM. Here, multi-core microwatt can be based processors can be created to run a general operating system. So it is a kind of GPCPU. So that is also open. So multi-core. So there will be a lot of challenges will be there to establish the communication between two cores and altogether getting the job done through OS. So it is really interesting and the challenging one. And the third one is that microwatt as edge computing and controlling industrial IoT 4.0. So here there's already we have got a nice processor with us, and here what we have to do is that we have to do some kind of customization, and that customization has to be matching with the requirement of the industrial IoT. So that can also be interesting one, and it is a needy one also for the current scenario. And the fourth one is that LibreSoC, and it is very really interesting and open, completely open SoC, which is based on OpenPOWER ISC. That also includes the support for microwatt also. It is a complete open SoC. So anybody can make use of it, and there is a technical team to support this particular LibreSoC also separately. And there you can make it as an edge device, take the source codes whichever available, and we can make it and we can customize it to match with the edge devices requirement for accelerating artificial intelligence IoT. So for targeting that one, we can make use of this LibreSoC. And the last but not least is that, so already we all know in India we have got indigenous processes based on RISC-V, right? Sakti, Vega, and other stuffs we do have in our country. A similar scope is there with OpenPOWER ISA also. So OpenPOWER ISA is a very well stable ISA. So with that, you can also try to build up a processor, your own processor with various stages of pipeline, so that you can also create your own processor, something like Sakti. So for all these identified areas, we do have support, right? If the certain academia is want to establish the collaboration, then the right person to contact is Ganesan. Ganesan will arrange the meet, and also he will form the consortium to get the works done. So whoever is interested in these areas, they can really we will be really encouraging you all to collaborate with us. And here, regarding that particular proposal, so I want to give some clarification on this because, to quickly start up, because only 10 days left for submitting this one. Those professors or researchers, those who want to quickly process the proposal for the chip making, then they can take this as a reference card. Here there are you can get that proposal format in this particular from this particular link, and it will have different parts in that particular proposal format, like part one, part two, part three. Right here, I have given which and all need to be taken care by the industry, and which and all need to be taken care by the university. And if you want to establish the collaboration with the industry, Ganesan will make the arrangement for it. And whichever here mentioned as the responsibility of the company, that will be quickly done with the help of Ganesan and other resource persons with this particular concept. And that's it. I am done. If you want to have any clarification in this, or want to know about any chip development or the schemes which you want to know about, you can ask me. I can explore more on. If anybody interested in these topics, they can open up and they can ask if in what way we can help. I can explain this. Or if you want to have any clarification in the thirst, identified thirst area, you can ask us. I can give a brief explanation about these different things.
Manikandan, there is a question in chat box from Sai.
Is there any way we can help in the energy and environment area? Something like green electronics or building electronics that are more sustainable than the present one. Yes, of course we can do. That is what the fifth one is all about. But in that, the green area, they'll be concentrating more on the power, right? So that's what here I have given the fifth one, creating indigenous pipeline processor with OpenPOWER ISF for low power battery operated green energy devices. Yes, very well we can do that. And we have to identify the application area also. So simply we can't say I have reduced the power. It's not a theoretical one. By means of simply reducing the power, it doesn't mean that we have produced the green devices, right? So what application we are targeting on, and how long that particular application is going to be handled by the developed chip or developed system, that also we need to be considered. And based on that, we can target. Any other suggestions or any other queries you want to have here?
Any other questions from participants? Manikandan, can the students get any sample proposals of how it has to be done? So any link or reference for that?
Yes, ma'am. If directly submit the proposal through faculties, they can do that. If the student want to have an internship or if they want to participate in any one of the project development, they can very well contact us and we will engage them and we will share our knowledge to them and they can start working on it.
Manikandan, you have put together some a proposal some time back, and you for the risk by budget, not now, later on. I mean, I'm talking about in the past. In your profile also you put it, right? What kind of proposal you have made it? Can you explain that?
Yes, Ganesan, nearly I have submitted, I have created 15 proposals for different governmental entities. In the each and every entity are having different provision to procure devices and do the chip making. And if you want to talk about government plan or private plan, in the two different way we can do that. In the case of government, this is the initiative taken like C2S. If you want to target through other entity, you can approach Google or eFabless Corporation. Suppose if the students want to directly do that, they can go with that. They can develop their own design. So I have also done on chip tape out. So in that way, and we have also got fund from different government funding agencies, something like this. And also I am mentoring various institutions about proposal creation for this kind of getting funding for R&D purpose and startup purpose.
There are some questions in the chat window. Can you check?
Yes. Yeah. Can BTech students also participate with the amount of knowledge that we have about VLSI at present? Yes, of course. So here the target is that to develop their skills. So if you know the fundamentals of digital and analog, and if you know what is VLSI and how to handle the tools, then that is sufficient. And you can very well start with these things. So the fundamental is enough to start up with these one, because you need not to worry about your BTech student or something, because most of the engineers, those who are working in semiconductor industry are having the qualification in BTech or BE only, right? Rarely they will be pursuing MTech or PhD or something. So you need not to feel inferior, and these are the programs mainly encouraging people like you to take up the semiconductor industry forward. Another query. So whom should we contact for working on these projects? Yes, right person to contact is got my mail ID also. The right person to contact is Ganesan. You can directly ping the Ganesan, and Ganesan is a friendly person who will immediately respond to your request, right? And which project you are interested in based on your skill set, and we will be mentoring you.
So when somebody writes a proposal, what are the things that need to be there? Like, like how many pages, the main proposal, and how many pages commercialization of the proposal, and like that. Do you have any input on that?
Yeah, definitely. So there are few parts where we have to highlight that I can say here. In that, if you are focusing on this particular C2S proposal, so here we can say that the technical point need to concentrate on first. So we have to first identify the thirst area that should match with these any one of the key application area, right? Even you can take any one of the thirst area what we have given here. So you can match it with these thirst area. So that one we have to first identify, because government is keen on that. So which key application area they are targeting on. And next one is that, so how that particular project is going to take the lead of manpower development. So that is what very important. Suppose we are developing the closed project, so that will have the IP rights for that institution alone or something, then government will be less interested on. So suppose if the colleges or universities are targeting these kind of open source process or open source process based things, then really they will be appreciating it, because everybody who is there in the country can easily have access to. So, and the momentum will really kick off, and many manpower will start developing in and around that particular thing. So that they'll be keen on. And another thing is that, so they have to create the clear roadmap. So which and all they are giving that as the deliverables, at which time that has to be clearly mentioned, and clear roadmap along with the milestones. And the milestones need to be achievable. You need not be exaggerate on anything, because we know the capability of the scholars and the capability of the students who are working in this particular project. And moreover, the faculty's availability is also important. So based on these various factors, they have to create the roadmap and milestones, and that should be of achievable nature. And that is very important, this second part. And the third one is that, so how that particular developed thing is going to be getting fabricated, whether the outcome is the fabricatable one or not. So that they will be keen on. There are two different way we can represent our work. One way is to give the design with FPGA cores, by developing the soft IP cores and integrating into the FPGA, and we can create the POC, and we can show that it is working. That is one way of representing it. And another way is that they have to produce the chip tape out, that is mandatory, especially for category 1. Chip tape out is highly mandatory and highly expected. For other categories, also it is expected, but the POC prototyping, that is what indicated in the TRL levels, different TRL levels. These are the main factors involving in the proposal preparation. And rest of the things and all with the company. So they have to invest on 10% of the overall cost of the project. So if the company invests on the institution, then obviously they will be expecting something fruitful from that particular university. Actually, that will really work out, because it is not a normal kind of project. Simply we can show the documents and use the utilization certificate to complete the project. This is the sort of thing which will really interesting and encouraging the semiconductor industry. Why? Because is that the academy has to produce a chip tape out and other IP cores also. So that way, if we are preparing it, then definitely the government will encourage it, and it will support whatever way they are giving it. And one more thing I want to insist is that whenever they are creating the roadmap and milestones, they have to keep that in mind. Uh, that particular milestones or whatever objectives they are creating, it, that should be directly given as the PhD problem statement for the PhD students. So in that way, if they compose the thing, then definitely that will work out.
Manikandan, we have the budget proposal for the project, right? So is there any limitation based on the area of project proposal, and what is the acceptance ratio for this particular budget? The acceptance ratio will be high or something?
Yes, ma'am. In this case, category 1, only 10 institutions government is looking at, but it is not the exact count. What they mentioned is that if many institutions coming in with good ideas, then really they'll be encouraging more and more institutions, and that is what the limit of category 1. and the maximum amount is 5 crore they can target on. Simply putting the amount is not a matter. If you are putting a high budget project, then they are keen on number of outcomes what we are producing. If more number of outcomes is produced for a specific project, then it is highly appreciated to the government. So that is what they mentioned. So the budget is not a matter. If you are applying through category 1, the maximum selling is the 5 crore, and category 2, it is 96 lakh, and category 3, it is 86 lakh. Anyway, non-government institutions can't go for category 3, and they can apply either with category 1 or category 2. And in that category 1, based on the category, the ceiling will be limited. The from input from my side is that the number of outcomes should match with the budget what we are proposing, and moreover, that budget has to be properly utilized for manpower generation. So these are the key inputs I can give upon the budget preparation.
Okay, thank you. And category 1 is like it is for industry academia, and for category 2 is also industry academia collaborative projects.
No, ma'am. For category 1 is about industry academia, and category 2 is only for the institutions. It is this in a consortium mode. Consortium mode in the sense 2 or 3 institutions can come together, join together to create the objectives, and they can submit the proposal. So maximum number of institutions they can join together is 5. So that is what the thing called consortium mode. So for this, you need to have the industry collaboration. But the end user, suppose if you are coming up with your idea, and that particular idea is really acceptable, and the company want to join that particular idea for their production or for their products, then it is highly appreciated. So for that purpose only, they have mentioned that the letter of interest and the commitment for the end user organization is needed here. So this is to express the interest. So for this kind of Ganesan is the right person to support, because he has a lot of contacts with semiconductor industries and top board management people. He can really help you out in this particular area. So getting letter of interest and commitment of the industry towards the projects to be developed. But for category 1, you need to identify one industry that should directly involve in collaboration with your institution, and they have to spend 10% of the uh, total cost of the project from their packet. That too by cash, not by any mean like a devices or anything. They have to make it as a cash. So these are the differences between category 1 and 2.
Thank you. Thank you, Nitya.
Thank you.
Any other questions from participants?
Some person asked, can you give your contact details through which we can contact you? Yes, very well. You can contact me. This is what you can reach me through my mail ID. So Manikandan for your gmail.com. You can contact me through this. You can drop me mail. So in whichever way I can able to support you, I can support.
Ganesan, sir?
Yes, madam. Yeah, let's. Yeah, thank you, Manikandan, for the wonderful, presentation about the C2S, as well as the opportunities to develop solution using the OpenPOWER Cores. You will also engage with IBM and OpenPOWER technology to develop more ecosystem in India. Thank you. Thank you for that. Madam, you can go ahead and start the next presentation, madam, the lab as per the PPT, as per the agenda.
Thank you, Ganesan. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Manikandan.